Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. He's Kevin Ricca.
Thank God it's Tuesday. I'm looking forward to this Tuesday. I don't know why. It's because it's Tuesday, I think.
We're going to call that suspect number one in this case.
All right, it's fair.
Derek Elphick, are we calling you not by Derek, bi-weekly Derek?
Just
bi-weekly.
Semantics mean everything.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to Tuesday night.
Thanks, guys.
Robert Cohen, EO, on the board. We appreciate our crew hanging out with us on Tuesday night. I wouldn't say zero Redskins news at the moment, but I wouldn't also say this wouldn't necessarily be a news-heavy type of a podcast. We cover the greatest team in the NFL, in our humble opinion, the Washington Commanders. There are a couple of cool things I think that are recent. So like we're kind of through free agency, through the draft. People are starting to think about through the schedule. Everything's real now. You get the training camps is up next, and we're off and running. So you're starting to get all the talking heads doing all their annual stuff. Like these are the best that do this, the best coaches, front offices. They regrade former drafts, which we can do too. But they start talking about like who's the best at important positions like quarterback. CBS Sportsline, I believe, their rankings of the quarterbacks right this very second, and Jay Daniels is number one. I mean, let's just say it. Like all the other, there was Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. They were not number one, and they made a compelling argument. Now that's incredible, but I think this is the time when we're separating ourselves from a rookie season, a guy who's only done it once, to he's a professional quarterback and he's pretty damn good.
I mean, is this Temptations just my imagination here? Because I don't want him to be the number one ranked guy in CBS Sports because I don't give a shit. But also, I don't think they're lying. I think they honestly believe it. I know the hype train. And listen, we're in the front row. I don't give a damn. But it's real. It's tangible. We see it. We saw it last year. Top 5 in offense, and we have just loaded up. Top 5 in offense. They did what we did in the offseason. I get it, but people are getting awful excited. I don't know if we've done enough defensively, but I also know that the first wave of free agency is over. The draft is over, but there's still a few things that can be picked at. So
when you say those rankings, is that fantasy or just overall?
It was just playing football, real football, real football, and it was not. It was their main anchor guy. So obviously it creates a discussion. But I also think that the expectations, I like it just because I think people recognize that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, you can take Lamar or Josh or Joe Burrow or give me any of them up, of course. But
absolutely,
the idea that they expect Jaden Daniels to be the best quarterback in the league. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they saw what they saw, they saw what we saw, and now they're like, well, I mean, yeah, if he's gonna do that, he's probably gonna be the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, they just went all in on the offensive line, picked up Deebo Samuel, and you would think that would allow people to start thinking that maybe that might be the sexy pick this offseason, like the Bengals were 2 years ago.
Yep.
And that's cool because I think it shows we're legit offensively. That's an offensive ranking, and it's awesome. And by the way, I think Lamar and Josh Allen and these guys, if you're going to ask me that question, I love him more than anyone, but I'm not going to sit here right before his sophomore year. Oh, I don't give a shit about sophomore bias, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think he's the best player in the world. I can't yet. You got to do it a little bit. You got listen.
Sure.
Play through
it
a couple.
It's crazy what he did, though.
It's so awesome, and that's why.
Crazy
and that's
what
why.
he did.
And that's why
I
we're
know.
getting this, and that's great. That's how it works. We know that better than anybody. We would win one game 3 years ago and freaking backflip off the freaking balcony. Yes. We're gonna get it done. Well, guess what? We have that feeling still.
Josh Johnson has a little juice left in him. I just know it.
Just never forget looking at you outside the stadium, and I was like, Sanchez is starting. Can we stay out here until the first quarter's over?
How about
it was Jake's first game, Derek.
I know. Oh yeah. I mean, you weren't there, were you, at the Giants game that year?
No, this would have been 10 years ago.
No, I wasn't there.
Okay, all right.
I'm kind of shocked he's ranked that high because I have ties in Philly and New York, and obviously it's division, so they're not gonna give you an inch. But I know they don't feel like deep down, in an honest opinion, that they probably don't feel like that. I don't have a good perception, living here
Yeah.
and seeing all the games, what they think about him on the West Coast or something like that. But
Right.
I'm shocked by the ranking. That's
I think there. So that problem, if it is a problem, will be very much addressed, as we know that more games than not are going to be in a prime time slot of some kind this season. So ain't nobody missing out on the West Coast from this show this year.
Us and the Chiefs. And by the way, Pat Mahomes, pretty decent ball
Sure,
player, pretty decent throwing the pigskin.
Hey.
I get why Jalen Hurts would
I'll
be
pick
super
him.
pissed by this also. They were in the Super Bowl and we were not. So, and he won the MVP. So I get it. People are going to be super pissed.
It's funny. The
Yeah.
first thing I thought of when you said that was Hurts.
Yeah.
See, but I don't think I've always, this, I've always loved Jalen Hurts as a professional quarterback from the time even when he was playing Oklahoma after he left Alabama. I was like, that he can, of course he can play, and he's good. But Jalen Hurts is not better than Joe Burrow, Lamar, in my opinion, than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or Jaden Daniels.
No way.
And I agree with that. And
But he's great.
No way.
If we switch Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, Philly beats the dog shit out of the entire
Yeah.
world next year. And we have a good year, but not like we did last year. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We'll always be in good hands with a guy like that. I have nothing but respect. But we don't have that guy. We got a different guy.
Yeah, I think the returns are still coming in on Jaden Daniels because everyone gets so sidetracked by all kinds of stuff. And the fact that we made it to the NFC Championship game. I mean, really, we have to process that we weren't just like good again. Like we lost the NFC Championship game by a lot to the Super Bowl champions, but that's crazy. What Jaden Daniels did all season was crazy, and I think people are diving into the minutia of it and the tedious little areas, like what was his footwork like on these kinds of plays, and how fast did he release the ball in these kinds of plays, and how often did he get from this read to that read. And I think what they're finding out is he did all those things really well.
He has that. What is it? We want to get it. The virtual joint.
Oh, the virtual training.
Just saying.
He was never. He never looked like he wasn't prepared for any possible moment that happened at any possible time this season. I mean, he was so cool.
When you start 55 games in between age 18 and 23, and you come into this league, you're going to be different than a cat that's played 2. It's just what it is. And especially if you absorb information and have a work ethic to the level of JD5. And he showed everybody, and I mean, we can tell our kids, and Derek doesn't have to as a Giants fan, but it's been a long time around these parts, Derek. You could look at your son and say, be like that guy. Be like Jaden Daniels. And god dang, you say that now, and it's asking too much. It's so cool that we finally do have that. But we had many years we were Sanchezing it.
And so there's teams, and I would argue your team, some teams that of yours fall into this bucket of Super Bowl champion teams, lots of wins, fun watching them. I'm sure you had a great time as a fan during their run with Eli Manning at quarterback, but Eli Manning wasn't top 5, top 6, top 7 guys in the league at any given time, but he was, you want to say top 10, top 12, of course, and you take him in any day because of how good he was at quarterback. But I think that, I'm trying to think of, and this is projecting, I mean, Jaden Daniels has done this for 1 year, but let's say, I mean, you just don't get your hands on a quarterback like that very often because no one does. And I'm trying to think of the equivalent, in your lifetime for your team, and I can't think of one.
Well, the thing with the parallel I see is that early on, I think it was at Denver, Eli had a great game-winning drive on the road, and it's like making clutch shots in basketball or golf. Like, are you a closer? Can you finish? And Eli early on showed signs he could finish. But I mean, that's what we saw this year. And so I think that there is a lot of parallels there, but I mean, that's
also Eli has 2 Super Bowl MVP trophies. So you got to give him that. And he was drafted ultimately number 1 overall.
I'm talking early on, like closing a couple games, some game-winning drives, and the clutch stuff we saw this year. It reminded me a little of it, but I mean, Eli never had that wow factor, so he's not going to get that.
They just giving him the freshman freeze in the Hall of Fame. Like they're just making him wait because they're like, hey, listen, we know, like this career, be like, listen, we know you're good. You're going to get in, but you're not going in right away because you're Eli Manning.
Right. 100%.
But he'll go in.
100%.
Let's see. I know Greg Martin. Shocker that he thinks Eli Manning was barely average. That's fine. They had great teams, no doubt, and they won where quarterback wasn't their best thing, right? Their defensive line for a while there was dominating. In fact, that 2007 season, so early on, it was like week 5 or week 6 or whatever. We were wearing our retro jerseys, gold helmets with the R. Sean Taylor on the field. We were something. I think we were like 5-2 or 4-2, something like that. And you guys were, I believe, 0-7, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been something like that. You guys had a terrible first half of the year, and then you went on a crazy run and went to the Super Bowl and won, right? 2007.
Well, it was Super Bowl 42 and 46. Someone tell me what years those were.
I think
the
the run started against us on the goal line. I think it was like 4th and goal, and Strahan and Tuck and those guys like held us up. And I think we went for it, touchdown, we win. You guys stop us, we lose. And both of our seasons went like the other way. I don't know. I always remember. First of all, I love those jerseys.
TR once there was Trunk Candidate involved in that play.
2007. That was Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs would never have truncated on his team.
Very true.
I'm pretty sure. All right, so yeah, okay. And so I think Eli's probably the biggest comp, and he actually did get you guys Super Bowls, which we hope and dream our guy can do.
That was a very interesting comp.
Well, for like your fan base,
the closer was the comp.
Well, just like the fact that
closing early was the comp. The rest of their games are a bit different. That's all.
Their games are totally different. I'm just talking about the comp in terms of, as a fan, you get a guy at the top of a draft, and you're like, oh, is he the guy? Can he be the guy? And all of a sudden, he gets you Super Bowls. Our guys,
I like both of those comps because that's about as much comp as you're squeezing out of this pair.
Yeah. And that's right. Yeah. And Philly tried to well, they didn't draft Michael Vick, but they had him. They drafted. They drafted Donovan. It had to be Donovan, and he did not. I think he was a great quarterback, but he has 0 Super Bowl wins, right?
0. He was only in 1. He lost it. I will say the one thing with him that struggled with us and everything was just the thing that I love the most, that T loves the most, accuracy. He really struggled for a great. He was a phenomenal athlete. He was a horse.
Well, he was. It's funny if I was looking at Jaden and I was the thing I hate to see out of rookies is when you put up gaudy stats and at the end of the game throw terrible picks and lose games at the end of games. I'd rather see young guys play in a system and come up clutch. And
like Bo Nix.
But the thing about McNabb was, for some reason, that was like Andy Reid's blue period where he threw like 49 times a game and wouldn't run the ball ever, right? And it was just kind of an odd time, and
shady. Getting 100.
He was very experimental in the early 2000s.
Yeah, 90s. And so, with that, you felt kind of for McNabb because all they did was throw, 50 times a game, and he was kind of hung out there. But I like those Eagles teams because they always choked in the end, and it was it was a wonderful experience for me.
McNabb was famous for bouncing 3rd and 7 off someone's shins in the flat,
exactly,
uncovered and open
ankle throws.
That was the turf. I just remember the ball hitting the turf at such a rapid rate, but he was a battler, and he just wasn't pure enough at the time. I don't think the position had evolved yet to the point where he could get to that. And you're right, he got the shit kicked out of him. He came here a beaten, battered man.
Yep.
Andy Reid was like, let's Biden this thing. Hand up the back of the shirt. Hold him up. Sorry, I don't mean to be.
No,
I'm talking about months ago. Maybe not.
Yeah. Well, but like, you just don't win getting the scraps from Andy Reid's table. I mean, he eats everything he wants.
I was gonna say, he typically finishes that plate.
Yeah, he's not throwing anything back that he wanted any more of.
I know, but we were like, you think this? Maybe this one time.
Ugh.
Come on, Shanahan, you should have known. You love accuracy more than anybody.
So so we have, I guess we have. That's a good story with Jaden Daniels being considered in that conversation. Now, we'll see what happens. But the other I guess Redskins or Commanders related story in the news. I guess the stadium thing keeps moving pretty. There's nothing bad to report there.
Iconic yet fierce. That's what I've heard about the design from.
Sounds great.
From Mark Klaus. Is that how you say it? Our team president. Did you know that Mark Klaus was our team president?
I was made aware.
I was made aware about 3 hours ago, and he said that it would be iconic yet fierce, and said that what the dome would give us. But he just wanted you guys to know this one fact about our team president that I just realized we had. While he was the president of Nabisco, just think about this. Just think of how great our year was last year.
Cheez-Its?
Very close.
Oreos.
What did he do? What's he famous for at Oreo?
Double stuff?
No.
Okay.
But you're close.
Chocolate covered?
You're specifically speaking, you're being too specific, but generally you're mauling it. I mean, you've gotten into the cave and you found the goods.
He did something Oreo related.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the one that said maybe we shouldn't just have
one kind of Oreo.
Let's make a shit ton of flavors and see what happens. So if not for the team president of the Commanders, I wouldn't have mint Oreos. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. That and a little Tillamook vanilla with a couple splashes of heavy cream in the old Ninja. Thank you, Mark Klaus.
Some little red breast in there. We'll be doing just fine.
Well, I'm not trying to shit myself, Ken. I'm trying to have a milkshake.
Well,
this is not a dietary practice.
It's gonna
for delicious purposes.
It all ends the same way. Let's be honest.
How fast can one milkshake go in one side and out the other?
Like a
it's going to be super thick. I'm telling you, that Tillamook is no joke.
All right. Well, I think that's important, and we got to the bottom of that. Literally,
our president did that shit, so obviously he's great. That's all.
Best variation of Oreo? Anyone? You're a mint guy? Mint Oreo?
The golden gets me. The double, but and then the outlier is the toffee crunch, weird one. But I think mint or golden would be and the golden is, I'm going golden. It's golden. But mint is best in a milkshake. Golden's better by itself in a cold glass of milk. There is.
The mint ones are thinner, right?
They can be, but they also have the double mint ones. If you really,
I've never had that.
I only do this for milkshake purposes.
Okay.
Well,
I think I like the thin mint ones the best.
I agree. They're delicious, and they'd be no different. They would be no different.
When I played back in my old softball playing days in Southern Maryland.
If this involves a cow in left field,
it involves, I forget his name was Jeff, and his family. He was a bigwig in Nabisco, and so he would always host us or whatever, or when we went to the same church, and he always would have just like crazy Nabisco everything on him, like it was like an Amazon distribution center of Nabisco back in like the late 80s, early 90s. So I had boxes of Oreos were just handed over to us at a time. It was my favorite thing in the entire world. Loved my man. The white chocolate covered Oreos to me are like the absolute best. I don't need double stuff. I don't need anything else. I didn't like any of it. But
no one needs it, but you don't crave it.
No, the white chocolate covered, and then for that matter, the chocolate covered. The white
chocolate was too sweet for me, but the chocolate cover was crack.
Oh, the best. So that was about all I went. But like, oh man, so many crackers.
Just seeing the Nabisco logo makes me feel 50 pounds overweight.
Nabisco, ding. God damn. And then my mom would show me some Fig Newtons. I would well up. I'm like, fucking Fig Newton.
Wait, you don't like the Fig Newton?
No. My first 3 Fig Newtons, I was like, these are interesting. And 17 years later, I was like, if someone brings this shit to the house, no one eats this shit. I've never even seen a fig tree in my life. I don't know if it's real or fake.
They went downhill. I feel like they changed the recipe.
I think they
or
did.
something. Yeah, because
The outside of
they
it.
became crumble.
It was so soft.
Yeah.
And then it went crunch. You're right.
What'd they take out?
I
Like
don't
some
know.
of the seed
Probably
oils?
something
Put
terrible.
'em back.
They're no
Soul,
longer allowed
put
to
'em
give us.
back.
Yeah, the soul. Maybe double stuff
Red,
came out of there.
red dye. Put it
Exactly.
back.
That's true. That's
There
exactly
was
what it
definitely
is.
something in there that
That's
was
true.
not good for you at all.
Sodium, calcium, nitrate, phosphorus, oxide, 3000.
Put it all
The
back.
fig Newtons were terrible.
I know, but they were okay. They had a chance. They had a chance to hang.
Yeah.
This conversation went the same way because I'm like, I like Eli Manning and I like Fig Newtons.
You like fig Newtons?
The biggest loser.
I admitted Fig Newtons, but we both figured out the crumbly ones were bullshit and the soft ones.
What's NES saying?
Oh, he's
Tillamook
right,
malted.
The Tillamook cheese, the Tillamook dairy selection has risen up, bitch slapped all the other Kraft and whoever else had
Okay.
cheese. Land O'Lakes pummeled in the corner,
Okay.
tapped out. Tillamook, it's all Tillamook. Anything dairy related, cheese, butter, cream, ice cream specifically. Breyers tapped out 15 years ago. I went to like
Yeah.
ice milk. They don't even have enough cream in it to be called ice cream anymore. It's called like
Frozen dairy dessert.
Yes. Bullshit.
Well,
Tillamook,
it's not ice cream.
Tillamook, dude. The Tillamook chocolate chip cookie dough.
Tillamook ice cream is delicious. I think their vanilla is great.
It's the best. The vanilla bean is just straight up.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm over here.
Is by the way, is Costco Tillamook? Do you know?
If they are, I'm gonna get super excited.
Well, because I can tell you for a fact, the only vanilla that's even close to as good, if not on the same level of Tillamook, is the Costco vanilla, and it
unless
is
just
so
happened,
good.
then the answer is no, unless it just happened.
Okay.
But if that's a tried and true, I'm gonna go up and get
It's a
me
great-
some Costco because
And they sell it by like the half ton. It's outrageous.
malted moo shake.
Yeah.
All right.
Tillamook malted moose shake. It's hard to beat, he says. All right.
Well, they believe that we should feel satisfied after we purchase their products.
So by the
That's
way,
how I feel about Tillamook. and
Robert Cohen's
not
right
many
on it.
others.
right on it from the get go. I see. Me and you are on the same. The fudge.
Yeah.
And I think it was even white fudge. I don't even know if it was white chocolate. Either way, the fudge coated Oreos were. And if I told you that like after church we get like 5 boxes of fudge covered Oreos, we would get. You know what I mean? Like, why is that even happening? How is that working in life? You
don't know,
just
but
got like the most.
If you're on one of those
ever.
murder shows, I know
Yeah.
exactly who we're about to track.
You'd be like,
The Oreo guy.
what else was Nabisco? Was that saltine? Was Nabisco saltines? They might have been.
Saltines had the little baker guy.
Okay, were they Pillsbury? Dope.
Not the Doughboy. It was it was almost like I don't know, but also we used to get the most bullshit saltines, the 99 cents for 19 boxes.
Oh, here we go. Look at Robert.
We weren't
Cohen
on the
it.
premium tip.
Costco's Kirkland Signature Super Premium Vanilla Ice Cream, which I think is the best vanilla ice cream. It's made by
Nice.
Humboldt Creamery, a dairy co-op located in Fortuna, California. Okay. It's amazing. Kirkland, anything that has the name Kirkland on it,
Yeah.
probably
No.
going to be pretty
The
good.
Kirkland vodka and the Kirkland Irish whiskey. The Irish whiskey is Jameson. I mean, I haven't confirmed that, but my taste buds have. It is effing Jameson.
It's Jameson.
And their American vodka, whatever the Kirkland American vodka is freaking delicious on the rocks.
What does everyone say? It's not kettle, right? They say it's like Grey Goose.
They try to say Grey Goose, but I despise Grey Goose.
Yeah.
I dislike Grey Goose. I love Kettle. I love Stoli out of a glass bottle.
This is I would trust you with a blindfold, and I fell for the Grey Goose thing. And if you're saying it's not, I believe you that it's not.
well,
Grey
it's
Goose.
cool. I think they're French. They have a French vodka. That's the Grey Goose.
Okay,
But then they have something, and the French one is in like a long, and the American is in more like a Swedish, absolute bottle. But it's called American vodka. I didn't get the French because I don't know. I'm not trying to get my ass whipped at DC Costco. There's only one Costco in DC. You're not walking out with big Frenchie. You got to come out with that big old bottle of American.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you
Sub 20 for a handle. Sub 20 for a handle. That's delicious. I don't give a shit.
I would
How
love
do
for
we
it to
get
be
on this Kirkland vanilla?
I would
This
love
is
for it to be
amazing.
absolute. I just want absolute to make a comeback.
Yeah, I had all those T-shirts.
Every
Gotta do
T-shirt,
something with 'em.
every like magazine.
Yeah.
You had to walk into someone's dorm and
the only
all
problem.
absolute
The only
commercials.
problem is like I feel like if I have the Kirkland vodka and the Kirkland golf balls. Then I have to wear those white New Balance shoes and high socks around.
Yeah.
And like it's like a whole motif, you know.
Absolutely.
I can
Slip-ons.
Yeah, I can't do it all.
Slides, are they
I
called
can't do
slides,
the
yeah.
whole thing. And
I
the
think-
Fig Newtons.
I think
Yeah.
Kirkland makes.
They're gonna call you Eli, dude.
They make golf clubs, don't they? I think they have. I think they make
do.
real golf
They do.
clubs.
They
You
have
can
golf
play with
clubs?
those.
Yeah.
Well, you can get all your gear there. I buy all my
Yeah.
shorts there.
I was just talking about this today at work. We're talking about because there's a 3 or 4 recent college graduates, and they always come in like they're wearing like whatever. And they're like $7 Costco. You know, these pants. I got like 18 pairs for $25. But if you go, I'm like I always push the basket through that stuff. You never know what they're gonna have.
Banana Republic khakis right here.
Yeah.
$15. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a
Who
no
cares?
brainer.
They're khakis, or
Khakis.
jeans, or blue pants, or shorts. Like, I think I have Costco T-shirt on right now.
And they make them
Kirkland.
in husky, and that's what I need.
Hmm.
Husky size.
How the fudge are you? Maybe you were husky at one point, but I think that trip has sailed, dude. You're really
No, you
you're
can't-
acting like you're husky.
can't
and
take
I don't, I'm taking your husky.
You can't take my
I know
husky.
a few couple husky MFers that have been kind of griping about you claiming you're.
It's the thickness is
Getting-
kids.
You're hearing secondhand blowback.
I,
I'll show
it
you
is.
husky. I'm gonna show
just
Ken
saying.
Husky right now.
I'm just in a smaller package of huskiness. That's all.
Hmm.
You know, but gigantic hands. I don't know what that's all about.
All I know is I'm going to Costco this week. That's,
Yes.
That's a check.
Hey,
Definitely
they
have
also have Magnum Rubbies there. Tell Greg
Mhm.
Martin that one. It's
Speak-
it's the reason why we usually go.
Speaking of, Nick Chubb is on the loose, and I would like to talk
Better
a
wrap
little
him
bit
up.
about. Like to talk about the prospect of signing Nick Chubb. I want to say I am for it. I want to say I don't think the contract he's going to get. I don't think his contract is going to be an issue. I think a 1-year deal sounds great if he can earn himself some dough with another contract. I think there's certain running backs who defy the whole age thing. Obviously, he's been beat up, but I think he is favorably comparable to Frank Gore. And I love Frank Gore. I think Frank Gore is one of the greatest we ever got to watch, all the way back to when he graduated from Miami. I thought all the Miami guys, they always say he's the best as well, better than Edgerrin, better than Clinton, better than all those guys. And
Better than Ezra?
not better than Ezra.
don't
You
think
know that.
I tell you, that's what you just said.
They're desperately wanting.
You said Edgerrin.
Edgerrin. I think that and I think that Nick Chubb, when fully healthy, is always going to be able to give you some really good Nick Chubb. And I think he is an outstanding pro running back. I mean, we've seen it before with all-time great level guys who actually, Adrian Peterson came here when he was super old, much older than 29, on bad knees as well, and got 1,000 yards.
And I agree with you about everything you said, especially the if healthy part. But they'll obviously do their due research, whatever. I just think this about Chubb, and he seems to be a volume guy to me, a guy that gets better as he gets those carries, and he is not going to be a volume guy here. So if he can figure out how to be, a spell guy for a series or two, and if he's all right with that and he's healthy enough to do that, that's fine. I love our rookie, and I think he's going to be special, but I don't know if that means this year right away. He didn't play last year. We got to see what that happens. But I don't think he will stop them. Pat McNichols was a great third last year, but all I'm saying is it would be McNichols that would go, not B-Rob.
It would either be McNichols or Chris. Those are the only possibilities.
And if Chubb could figure, I can see that. For not much money, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Well, my question for you, Ken, is what part of vintage Chubb would you expect to see? Like in what situation?
He doesn't mean like which part of the Chubb. He means
like demonstrate for the court, which part
not the base.
I was referring to.
Not the base.
Using Kevin's body, please
not the noof.
Rub for the court. So I think, first of all, he is a seasoned pro, and he's a great one. So that's something we like all of a sudden in this new regime. So he's plug and play in the sense that he's a pro, which is big, whether he's played within our offense or not. If he isn't trying to be like, because I think the Frank Gore thing works against him. To what you said too, Frank Gore was a volume guy, And even in his later age, he was still getting carries, and he was
a horse.
and he was always that way, and he was great. And Adrian Peterson really is very similar. So if that won't
And
be
we needed that then.
yes,
We needed that horse of Adrian Peterson. We needed him to be a mass.
but we're going to put Eckler in the
Yeah.
game. We're going to put Brian
Right.
Robinson in the game. Nick Chubb could mix in as a pass catcher. He could mix in as between the 40s, in the middle of the field, pick up some yards so you can get to your other guys.
I'm with you. I just don't know that Nick Chubb looks
Yeah.
at our backfield, looks at our roster, and goes, you know what? I really have a shot to unless it's to be the guy. And with his history, no one's going to be shocked if he beats out Brian Robinson after we pick him up.
Yeah, we have nobody signed for the year after this except for the
Nobody
rookie.
besides the rook.
Yes, so I like I would love the move. I think he has to beat out either Rodriguez or McNichols.
Well, Rodriguez gets but
Yeah.
McNichol would be the guy. McNichol had a good year for us last year until he fumbled late. So
Yep.
everyone remembers that, but he was pretty damn good for it.
Yeah, and he's in this would be his 9th year. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
We know
so
what we got in him.
Yep. And so I think it would be a great spot for Nick Chubb to continue his career, not end it. And I think so. I'm wondering why he's not signed already by anyone, including the Cleveland Browns. So, to me, that's going to drive his price.
The
down.
running back market is flaccid right now.
It's incredibly flaccid. So Nick Chubb is not necessarily, copacetic with that kind of market.
He could chub up any time in the next few
chub
weeks.
up this market.
I was just looking at the 3.3 yards per carry. That kind of 100 carries, but
coming back from the injury.
But then I thought about it more, and I was like, well, what was going on in Cleveland? Like they could probably put unlimited people in the box. Like, what are you really going to do, right?
Well,
Deshaun, that was not the play call. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Get over here, you rascal!
No, he would be a great guy to have if something happens to. I don't know. Everyone just shits on B-Rob. We haven't really thought. We're like, we've essentially all just chucked him. He's got another year.
He's got another year
on a great contract.
I want all the balls that he's going to be getting. I want him to get it. I'm happy to let him go. I like the idea of. Well, how about Nick Chubb for this reason also? I think Nick Chubb, if he wants to be a part of a like straight up committee, in Washington, and have a little bit less volume than he would have otherwise. I think he looks at this opportunity as like a great spot for him.
Maybe
because he is a producer
for a veteran minimum. Who cares?
Yep.
Who really cares? But I mean,
but the other thing is, it's just like offensive line. You're going to play 8 or 9 offensive linemen in the course of a year minimum, no matter what happens. But before the clock strikes midnight, you're through almost a dozen guys on the line. I think running backs are the same thing. By week 10 or 11, Nick Chubb may very well, in a certain scenario with him signing us, all of a sudden in week 10 you go and you're like, well, Nick Chubb is the starter this week because Brian Robinson's nursing a torn, or a quiet injury, and Eckler has a concussion.
We can pull him off the street for that. I don't think if Nick Chubb was a high priority, we wouldn't be so chubby.
He's nobody's high priority now.
Exactly.
I mean, he's nobody's. It's crazy.
And I've said on this show in the past how high I am on this rookie, who is just he's got bursting with talent.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb, he was that. He was bursting with talent, but it was a long time. So if you're going to take carries or possible experience away from a guy that you're pretty high on, that I know I am. I said I believe if the over/under for offensive NFC Rookie of the Week was 1/2, I'm taking the over on our 7th round draft choice. So
okay,
I don't think I can win that bet if I side with you on picking up this chubby guy.
This Chubb. So he's doing the video releases right now. Like all the the pundits are putting out the Nick Chubb workout videos, that he's doing right now, and he obviously looks like a crazy madman, and trying to prove to the court of public opinion to prove, Tuesday night basement dwellers like us that he's fully healthy, and hoping that people like us would agree that if he is fully healthy, if he is fully healthy, he's a possible crazy upside lottery ticket scenario.
One of the things I love most when you have an offense kind of like your guys' offense is it's tough to get this going, but if you can have so for instance, you guys move to the next level next year where you can kind of put away a team and coast with your running game for you know a quarter, right? Like just kind of, and you know who does that great is the Eagles,
Yeah.
right? And that is so key is if you can give a guy like Hurts, they give Hurts a lot of time where, sometimes they'll get up early and it's like Hurts won't do anything for an entire quarter, right? That's such a big advantage.
Yeah, because they don't need him to.
Right.
Well, and he's the only running back the Eagles have.
Yeah.
Right? No, you don't have anybody else. There's nobody else that plays running back for them.
I'm talking about
like this past year.
The QB.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. He's their only running back. He's the only guy who gets any rushing yards for the Eagles.
Well, I don't know. There's a guy who used to be.
Wait, are you telling me? Wait. Who?
Saquon.
He plays for the Giants. Stop it, Derek. They would never let him go.
I'm saying for the past, decade, the Eagles have always been good at that.
It wasn't that great.
I'm just reading my notes.
Yeah, Saquon. Yeah, it's a good guy to do it with. But they've been good at that, right? And sometimes it's funny when you have a quarterback, like you got to keep them hot, keep the reps going. But they're very good at that. I love teams that can do that, right? Just kind of lean on the running game for a while. The Giants, when we had the Super Bowl teams, were very good at that too.
Yeah. When you're on the other side and you're like, oh, they're dominating us. There's nothing we can do. They're controlling the game. They've got it by the neck. That's a horrible place to be as a fan.
Just burn a whole quarter, right? That's huge. Right?
We did a little of that last year with our offense, not so much our running game. Our ability to convert on third down was a big deal.
Oh yeah,
and fourth for that matter.
It was specifically.
So, is there anybody else? I would say it's not my money. I have no problem spending it. I got a guy like Nick Chubb. Is there anybody else with a big name who wants to be playing football in September, and we don't know where he's going to be?
Let me say briefly. I just want to throw him in. Not saying that, but I'm throwing him in. J.K. Dobbins, a home run threat.
The Harry Potter author.
No, this is the running back from the NFL.
NFL running back.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Never read one of this.
I thought,
Nope.
I was like, damn, that's a double threat.
He's
award-winning author and a running back.
He counts against the compensatory formula if signed before the training camp. But if no one signs him before the July training camp, then Chargers have exclusive negotiating rights. It's a weird, whatever contract he signed. But right now, anyone can sign him. Anyone can. Yeah. It has to be before July, and it counts towards the compensatory formula. So,
he was the only one that did it, right? It was him and
I don't know. I knew you would have some compensatory info.
Only two. So they gave the restricted rights tender or whatever on him, right? Then the other guy that did it was Elijah Moore, the wide receiver for the Jets, and he signed with somebody, and that got the Jets a little bit of something back.
All right.
So I don't. Yeah. So you're right. He can sign with anybody he wants, and there's all this other stuff. But I think it's like J.K. Dobbins.
We don't have to talk about him long. I was just
who would be better than J.K.? Then you really have a J.K. versus Nick Chubb. Those are both because J.K.'s coming off. I think also two injuries.
It's his second year back as well. So they're both in their second year back off what they did last year. So everyone seems optimistic about him. Some people don't seem that optimistic. So I'm not a doctor. I have no idea.
The Chargers.
I just wanted what you guys thought about J.K. Dobbins.
I thought he landed in the perfect situation with Harbaugh last year. They beefed up that defense is great. They wanted to play defensive ball and they wanted to run it, and I didn't know how they were going to pull that off. And J.K. Dobbins when he was healthy, he was killing everybody. I mean, he ran over everyone before he got hurt again. And so I thought when he was doing the same thing with Baltimore before he got hurt.
He's just always hurt.
So they drafted O'Marion Hampton in the first round, obviously they like him a lot, and he's a guy you're going to give the ball to right away.
Yeah, no, he's done.
Who did the Chargers?
And they also signed somebody. They also signed they signed a veteran guy whose name, not Miles Sanders.
I know who it is.
They,
Yeah.
they signed another veteran guy who's definitely going to be in the mix.
Yes.
Big, not Josh Jacobs, not Aaron Jones. This is a guy who's going to eat up carries. He's going to be.
I'll
a
never
dude.
get it. I'll never get it at
So-
this point. I've already.
So I think they're playing the game that the league is playing with Nick Chubb. I think the Chargers are basically like, hey, listen, man, if you can get a deal somewhere else, great. But we'd
Right.
love to have you here because we're going to pound the ball and we need running backs.
And I would do
so
that
smart.
same deal with Zadarius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney. They've made their money. I do not want to pay them the monies that they've been making. They are in a different portion of their career in the twilights. They're plus players, but they are not franchise.
Clowney's a perfect 1-year contract guy for us.
And I think that's the guy that I want on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he fits a need. But he's the
5.5
guy.
sacks last year, playing around a bunch of guys that had not much game. He's a piece. He's not the guy, but
I think
I don't want you guys to get him.
right. That's cool. No, because that's how I make my choices about all this.
Yeah.
And like I said, when Saquon went from the Giants to the Eagles, I put a fist through the wall in my basement. Well, I didn't, but I wanted to.
They let him. How did they? I didn't. They would never let. Oh, it was Najee Harris. Good answer, Robert
Najee,
Cohen.
there you
Robert
go.
Cohen. That's 3 so far for you. You're 3 for 3 tonight. And yeah, Najee Harris. I mean, obviously, there's some question marks with him, but he's going to get the ball. He's exactly what Harbaugh wants to do, and I have to believe that Harbaugh played against Najee Harris at the collegiate level. Wasn't Najee? He was an Alabama guy, right?
I don't know this.
All right,
connection.
sorry. All right,
I mean, I don't know like years or in
Yeah.
college football and Alabama.
Harris does. I don't understand. He blows. He was disinvited from Pittsburgh, but he's a professional grade running back. He's going to do just fine.
So Michigan would have played Alabama, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not remembering.
Okay. All right. I bet you Robert Cohen knows. But Clowney would be. I mean, he would be on the same level as the Dante Fowler 1-year contract deal we
Agreed.
did last
With
year.
a way better, same pass rush ability
Big
and a
ups for
way better job as a run guy then, and for hopefully half the money. So
Yeah,
that Fowler got 8 or 9 in Dallas after a 4-piece from us last year. So good for him, but
that's right. It'll be interesting because there will be another guy or two that we pick up, and it's going to have to be. I think it's going to be a veteran guy. I mean, I don't think like who we added the last second or kind of in the mix of the last second last year. Noah Brown was one of them. He kind of just all of a sudden was here, and then he was playing.
Well, because he got cut. He got cut.
And
we
then-
waited in Houston. I kept a bunch of young guys.
Yep.
And he knows about this shit. He knows. He knows.
So there's the Noah. I'll be interested to see if we get another Noah Brown kind of player, because I would bet that Adam Peters would be more interested in getting another Noah Brown than he would signing Chubb or Clowney or Dobbins or any of these guys. You know, like if he's like, I know that guy that guy can play, and I know he can do exactly what I want him to do. And if he's cut and he's like, I think they would always. And Noah Brown was a genius pickup. You know,
and a proven guy. We talked about the experience. I looked at our top 6 additions on the defensive side of the ball, plus our top 6 additions on the offensive side of the ball, have combined for over 600 wins in the NFL. Not just experience. We're getting high-level guys from winning franchises that were functional parts of these teams.
Yep.
And that, to me, says everything about every pickup we make. So, yes, you're the GD right. We're getting a veteran. And it's going to be someone that's got some, what do you say? On acting, some chops in this league.
Chops.
Yes.
Yep.
Some chomps.
That stat is so scary. The win stat. Oh my God.
No, it's 12 guys, but each guy, there's 12, 6 on each, averages 50 wins under their belt coming into the building. That's a huge deal. That for me, we haven't had anything like this, and you know that. So be nice.
Well, in my world, Jackson Dart, I think, is triple patting the ball in training
He's
camp,
spinning
so
it too. He spun the ball in the pocket, and there was a video of it. I'm like, oh God, maybe he's that good. but
Well,
he spun the
sometimes he-
ball and then threw it.
Sometimes he claps twice and then he
Yeah.
pats it 3 times and then drop back, right?
Those
And
things can be gotten rid of
throws
easily.
a spin in there too.
Yeah,
Wow.
he spun the ball.
Now I'm really excited.
Don't get worried. I promise you, down to Ole Miss, there was no one that was like, "You go tell Jackson stop spinning that ball."
No
you go
way.
tell him.
No.
You can go fuck yourself.
He's going to do whatever he wants.
He'll find out sooner than later.
Yeah, 600 wins. We're patting the ball.
Like
Okay.
nobody who's like think about all the people who've left here. Like whoever's got Benjamin St. Juste and I forget who signed him. He's signed. He's going to be playing somewhere. I'm sure he'll probably be starting for somebody at cornerback this year. They're not touting.
Is he a Charger?
He might be a Charger.
He's a Charger or a Raider? No, yeah, he's a Charger, I think.
Yeah, we got a couple guys like
And whatchamacallit, Chin is a Raider.
Chin's a Raider. But trust me, nobody nobody's being like Benjamin St. Juste. You know how many wins are under his belt? You're like, yeah, no.
7.
not
it's
that
7.
many. Like,
4 years with the Skins, 7.
the winning experience doesn't come with some of those.
I
guys
believe
the
he
way
had
we got.
more pass interference calls against him than victories when he left.
That's
I think it's clear.
I mean,
that
he
was true.
He was playing some catch up there too at the end. If he was down there because he was getting
know.
multiple per game.
I have to say it because or else I'm going to freak out, but I don't even want you guys to talk about it. Just nod your head or give me the finger. The craziest stat all week I've ever seen, I had to tell you, Ken. Miami 2001, Miami Hurricanes 2001. If their offense never scored a touchdown, their record would have been 8-4. If their offense never scored, they said their offense scored 50 touchdowns that year. Can you imagine how good that freaking team was?
Warren
All right.
Sapp.
Had to
I don't
just-
get it. I don't.
just
You,
had to get that one.
but
in
I'm
there.
not allowed to say Warren.
No,
Sapp.
no. You are. I know this, but I know we've been
Reed.
friends a long time, and I know if I give you a weird stat like that, next thing you know, you're going to be talking about Trung candidate.
Jimmy Johnson we had Warren Sapp and Ed Reed. Who else? Who was playing corner? They
So
had
Sean Taylor was
badass.
what year was Taylor?
that year you're talking
Was
about
Portis the running back that year, or was it Willis McGahee, or was
Oh
it,
no,
where
this was
are we?
before that.
Dude, I have no idea about
This could have been
time
Frank
space
Gorish.
continuum.
I mean, you're talking about almost Frank Gore, type. That was before Edgerrin James. It was before Clinton. It was before.
I know Ed Reed
Sean.
was on the team.
Yeah, Ed Reed 100%.
Yes,
Yeah, Sean Taylor graduated in 2004, I think.
so he might have been a Frosh,
No, that team was in the 90s.
but that was 01-02.
Okay, then maybe.
So I must follow one.
Well, you know what? He had to have been because Ed Reed definitely played on. Ed Reed was on the same roster, I believe.
I don't know any of these answers, so I don't want to pretend. I don't want to say anything else.
I
don't
only
know
have
any of the
one.
answers.
Who was the receiver on that team?
Michael Irvin.
No,
No. I'm talking
On
about
Miami?
the 2001 team.
Oh,
2001 was not Michael Irvin. 2001 was like
Is
was it Santana
2001?
Moss?
Santana Moss. Could have been.
Johnson?
Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was older than that.
I knew if I said that, I was going to confuse us, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It was the coolest stat I've heard about a football team.
That's
I don't give a shit.
unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it.
That team was.
Who was the quarterback?
Ken Dorsey.
I was going
Yeah.
to say Ken Dorsey.
I'm just
all right.
guessing.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that. I'll buy that for $1. I thought that was so what year did Aikman, or what year did Irvin come into the league? That had to have been like with Aikman around that same time.
Bro, like 80,
That was in the 80s?
91? I don't know.
Yeah, it had to have been. All right, so they didn't play together.
What year did Irvin come into the league? It was like before Two Live Crew.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Two
So
Live
that
Crew was
was-
what? That was in like
That was late
7th
80s.
grade?
Yeah, that was like 88.
So it was simultaneous then.
Andre Johnson.
Andre
McGahee.
Johnson. Yeah, it was
McGahee.
not. Yeah. McGahee was a monster.
Najee Davenport.
Yeah.
Najee-
Grab the pine, Najee. You got Willis.
Portis and Gore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
insane.
Frank
That
Gore.
is a stable.
Yeah, a little bit.
Najee Davenport crapped in some chick's closet and got like arrested. I think he got arrested for it.
Was that code word for something, or was it an actual turd burger?
Yeah, no, I could be mistaken, but I believe they called him Najee Dumpinport, and I think he crapped in somebody's closet.
One
and
thing I know about Ken after 10 years, he never forgets when someone takes a shit in the closet.
don't do it. Crapped in my closet, man.
Crap.
So
my closet.
Is known to make milkshakes with Nabisco products.
Yeah. And add a little of that spicy bourbon. Flavor Town.
Jonathan
Jesus.
Stewart was the running back also in Miami. Wow, I loved
Well,
him.
no wonder they scored 50, but they didn't need 50.
No.
Mm-mm.
What a squad.
All right, so we're narrowing, and we're going to do this tonight. We're just going to narrow. So
Gonna
we
narrow
appreciate
it?
people hanging out, giving us a little bit of help on this topic. We're going to narrow down some Team Mom. So this will be our final segment of the night in terms of Team Mom.
Sorry.
narrowing.
One more player too. Shockey. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
What a team.
Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, we
That's
can't.
dirty.
Sorry, as a Giants guy, we can't move off till Shockey was there too.
Yeah, he was.
Great.
He was. Shockey was.
So upset that he played for someone else's team and not mine. Love guys like that. Team Mom. All right, so we had a little, let's get, since we're talking about the whole program. Do I have one on here? I don't know if I do. Oh yeah, of course I do. There we
It's
go.
the Team Mom app, Ken.
All right, Team Mom app. So they're right over Kevin's shoulders is our Team Mom this year. And it was just because we had so much respect for the fact that Martha was the cover model on Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, which I think, by the way, might be a thing in terms of potential swaying of the judges' votes. So Martha Stewart became our Team Mom because you have to have a Team Mom. And we're like, you know what? You got to have somebody with a lot of experience. This isn't a beauty pageant, although it's part beauty pageant, Derek.
Bro, the other teams are going to joan on us if we have an ugly ass Team Mom.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing done right.
Yeah. Our Team Mom just happens to have been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. All right. So say what you will about Martha, but we need another Team Mom for next year. And we have some great nominees, and we're going to work our way through this. I'd like to come out of this with like 5. So I'm just going to say some names. We're not doing pictures. We said for the opening round, we're not doing any pictures. This is a discussion on the merit of Team Mom ability. Okay? So we have Christy Brinkley, Halle Berry, Jane Fonda was a late addition, Sandra Bullock, Marissa Tomei, Dolly Parton is getting a lot of hometown buzz, Pam Grier, Mrs. Garrett from Facts of Life, Ava Longoria, not to be confused with Evan Longoria, who played third base, I believe, for the Florida Marlins.
The Tampa Bay Devil
And
Rays,
the Tampa
right?
Bay Devil Rays, sorry. Pam Christmas, Jennifer Coolidge, and Salma Hayek. That's the list. I've said all the names. They hit you a certain way. Initial responses from folks still on the board in terms of that. The names I just said. Who's at the top of your list? Just give me, if you're commenting, just put your number one name, nothing else, just your number one. And no Cheryl Ladd. Cheryl Ladd didn't make the cut.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So this is just us voting on Team Mom, or does like, okay,
There's duties.
oh,
Like, this is Martha Stewart. Trust me when I say, that's why you have to cycle them in and out.
The duties are up to us.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't a no-show job. I know how you do it in Jersey.
Take care of your personal business.
It's all no show.
This
jobs
isn't
up
playing
there.
basketball in Turkey. Okay, this is
Yeah.
actually you got to actually show up to
There's
play.
no Team Mom union.
Yeah, there's no Team Mom union. So there's a lot of intangibles, if you will, and at the end of the day, we're incredibly reliant on the Team Mom for things we haven't even thought of yet. That's why Martha Stewart was the greatest OG, because I don't think she's like Jaden Daniels getting blitzed. She's never ever once in her life been caught off guard. It's 81 years.
Except for that one time.
Except for that one time, but
in Boca Raton.
Boca Raton?
I think
Except for that one time
she went to
Boca
the Slammer. And,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
she paid her dues.
she did her time.
Hot
She did her
ass Team
time.
Mom.
Yeah. I believe she went to jail because she wouldn't like
To get bad girl status.
she to get. Oh well, first of all, mission accomplished. And second of all, I think she was like not going to turn state's evidence. Go against anybody.
I don't know if we signed Bradley, but it's getting chubby in here.
Yeah. So again, listen, we've said enough about. I mean, everyone knows why she's been our Team Mom this year, but this is a demanding job. She's 82 years old. It's just not all Sports Illustrated cover issues and Tuesday night podcasts for her anymore. She's got other things going on. So we have to come up with somebody who can step in, fill those shoes, and not necessarily that I believe one piece bathing suit, but we can again, that's for another round. I don't see any early. So Robert Cohen's all beat up because he wanted Cheryl Ladd. All right, I think I'm gonna, just to eliminate a couple. I would say on lowest on my list out of the gate are Mrs. Garrett.
Mrs. G's the only name I've scratched out.
She's-
Unless you got a fetish, she's got to go.
Nope, don't even have to talk. Don't even have to talk about Mrs. Garrett. Don't even have to
I
do
don't
it.
want any trouble, but
No,
if
don't
you're,
even
if
have
you're
to
not
do
an apron guy,
No, I'm not an apron guy
I know.
or necessarily into redheads. I don't even know if she's the only redhead here or not, but that's neither here nor there, Derek. Is there anyone on this? I would say Jane Fonda she's
she's got to go. Sorry, Jane.
but I think she should be proud of the fact that she was on the last nomination list as a finalist or semifinalist, if we're being honest. But I would say that Jane Fonda is not Teen Mom material.
No.
I just don't see it.
It's that we're decades off. We're decades off there. That one is.
Oh, there's a lot of decades here.
There's
No,
a
but
lot
Martha
of
Stewart's eating edibles and making dinner right now.
Yeah.
Like she's very, very.
She's smoking
very-
blunts with
yeah,
Snoop.
exactly. She's
She's
all
just-
in this decade.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda, not so much.
right.
No,
I don't even care who's older.
no, and I've never. It's not. I'll be honest. If you had said name some Jane Fonda movies, I don't know that I could. Like she did some movie about ex-wives or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I
Did
mean,
that
she was
movie
famous.
when all her friends went on a girls' vacation like 2 years ago? Remember that one? They all went nuts.
With Candace Bergen.
Yeah.
I'm picturing.
I know. I have no idea what you're talking.
I'm picturing like the Commander's Twitter handle tweets. We're announcing a Teen Mom this year. If you said Jane Fonda, people would be like, the account got hacked, right?
Yeah.
If you said Selma Hayek, you would get like 50 billion likes, and people would be like, we want more of this.
She's
We
my
want-
all-time favorite,
we
and I
want
said she was
more.
ineligible. And last week I had 3 whiskeys, and
You
I
reclassed her.
drunkenly
You
and I
reclassed her
drunkenly-
on
drunk
the air.
dialed.
I
You
did.
drunk
You
dialed.
reclassed her on
I
air.
went
Oh,
I went
man.
against what I
Oh,
knew was
boy.
bad. Well,
Yeah.
have you ever? I mean, it's
Well, your friend should have taken your phone away. You had the drunk dial.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true, but
All right, I
I'll
mean-
do it again.
I think there's no question Salma's going to make the next round.
So I think we can go ahead and advance Sandra Bullock to the next round.
Yeah.
They make a very good point, and I believe that is very important. So
She is a proud Washington Commanders fan. Maintain her support for the team.
I'm
You're
gonna.
right, Greg Martin.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I was like, "What are we talking about?" Robert Cohen, he agrees.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think. All right. So
Can I cut Jen Coolidge?
yeah. No.
I
Jen-
might have suggested her.
Yeah, you
Me
did,
too.
and I
Yeah.
love her.
Me
but,
too.
But I don't think you know what I think it's too soon for her.
It is maybe next year.
Maybe next year, but also maybe in like 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I got to find out who Stifler roots for before we can just make her team mom. We could get Joan done for that all season.
We could, but we're gonna be safer. All right, so Jane Fonda, you're out.
Stifler bones your team mom. It's terrible.
But that's not. It's Stifler's mom.
I know, but
Somewhat
just the
Finch.
verbiage.
Yeah,
I don't want Finch there either.
but Finch.
Unless it's the Finch that played the world in the D tackle in Wildcats for Goldie Hawn, who didn't make the list.
Goldie Hawn didn't make the list. I think it's too early for her too. I think
agree.
she's going to be unstoppable
Football.
in 2 years for Team Mom. Private Benjamin, the original. All right, so Sandra Bullock's going through. We're going to send Selma Hayek through. Can someone make the case for Pam Christmas?
I'd like to see her sliced.
Yeah,
I don't know. Here's why: Dolly Parton, Marissa Tomei.
I like Marissa Tomei I think, especially in her turn as
You're
Aunt
going to
May.
cut Dolly Parton right now. That's fine.
No, I'd cut
fine.
Pam Christmas before I'd cut Dolly Parton.
All right, I'm cutting Pam Christmas.
If I could play a cricket sound effect for Christmas, it would come through.
It
would
came
come
from the
through.
board, I believe,
Sorry.
last week.
Sorry, board.
Sorry,
Sorry,
board.
board.
No, well, it could have been you also. All right, so I think so far I have Sandra Bullock, Salma Hayek, Marissa Tomei. I'd like to say at this very moment that Dolly Parton should be like, this is her year to be considered a finalist, in my opinion.
Really? Because I'm thinking the same about Pam Grier. He just has that funky ass. What is it? What's the new stadium supposed to be? I know we're not going there until 2030.
Iconic
and
fierce.
and fierce.
Okay.
I mean, that's why. All right, but put that on the back burner.
Well, we can do Dolly Parton and Pam Grier, and then we're gonna have to make Ava Longoria, Halle Berry, and Christy Brinkley wait.
Halle Berry gets waitlisted.
And by the way, Halle Berry,
Christy Brinkley gets waitlisted.
Yeah,
I mean, I know she's old school.
Yeah, they don't.
She'll be hot for another
ballot.
20 years. She can.
Halle Berry just put out a video. I think she's 64 years old, and I wouldn't say it if I wasn't sure, or I wouldn't. I think she's 64 years old. She put out a video in the last couple of months, like in bed with her dude, talking about how they're like, as soon as the video ends, it's about to get serious. Like dude,
I'm sitting. I have never been so entertained listening to you, like bring this up.
Halle Berry, I watched it. She's in bed with her dude, and she's talking to a cell phone camera about how it's about to
write for Hustler.
Dear diary.
Next door, dude. They're about to bang it on.
They were gonna.
Somebody was gonna get something.
So, and that's, to me, I think that's definitely Teen Mom material, because that's mom. Like she's still getting after it.
Coitus is pretty. His mom is
Well, no, I just she's active.
Did I say it right?
She's an active mom.
Very active.
Yeah, she's super active. So I think that she should just be like kind of just given a little bit of consideration.
All right.
So I think it's all right. So we have Sandra, Marissa, and Salma. Is she from Salisbury by chance?
Who?
Selma.
Stop. She's not. And just say Selma.
Is
Ava Longoria gets cut.
all right, but she only was brought up this year as a
Tony Parker
newcomer.
and her were in a tent.
She's finding Spain right now on
yeah.
CNN, and she's doing it.
I'm a
Super
fan.
hotly.
I'm a fan. So like, it kind of breaks my heart to see that Penn cross that name out. But I forgot about Tony Parker. So now I'm
We're gonna start her.
I forgot about
And
that
Cohen, and that on that same point, Derek just made. Robert Cohen made. Dolly should miss out because she wore the Dallas cheerleader outfit.
I know.
That's an iconic picture, and we're gonna get Joan on.
We will get Joan done.
Bro, you know how to do this. We're from freaking right
That's a
outside
good
DC.
point.
We can't get Joan on.
But
We do the Joning now. You see where we're at.
Martha didn't wear any Commander's gear. I'll tell you what. Let's give Dolly Parton another year to think about wearing that
fair.
Dallas Cowboys.
She
thing.
deserves a 1-year suspension.
Listen, this hurts me more than it hurts you, Dolly. Just do some introspection and reflection. I think you're going to make a wonderful
Are we
team.
going to put, all right, then I think we just put your girl, Halle Berry, in.
Oh, yeah, she's
for
going
fifth.
in. So Christy
Due
Brinkley.
to her seductive nature.
So I think Mrs. Garrett, unfortunately, Julie Ertz, she was crossed out early. Jane Fonda, I think they are, and Pam Christmas for that matter, they have exhausted all their years of eligibility. Jennifer Coolidge will be back, and obviously Dolly Parton and Ava Longoria will be back.
So who's our 5?
Hayek, Tomei, Bullock, Barry.
We went 4.
No, you had 5. 1.
Pam Grier did not get a final.
I think because you were definitely doing Dolly.
I was.
And then that.
Yeah. The cheerleader outfit was. We can go final 4.
Yeah, let's go final
Let's go
4.
final 4. We did it.
That is strong.
Yeah.
It's a
Final
great
4.
4.
I like
great 4.
Yep. Halle Berry, Sandra Bullock, Marissa Tomei, Salma Hayek from Salisbury. It's going to be great. We're going to do it live from our hometown at Salisbury State. We're going to probably eat some Salisbury steak for dinner.
I knew it was coming.
That's all I got.
I knew it was
It's the only
coming.
ones I know. All right. So, and by the way, just so we're clear, the Team Mom Show final vote will occur the night the T comes back and joins us on Tuesday night, which we believe and certainly hope is going to happen sooner rather than later. As much as we love our weekly friend
Our bye friend.
or bi-weekly / my friend Derek.
Bye, Derek.
Bye, Derek.
That's a terrible jingle. I apologize.
That's
Now
a
it's
great
stuck
one.
in my dome.
Oh, it's over. I'll be saying that all day tomorrow.
Sounds like a new Nabisco product.
It pairs well with a Fig Newton.
And 5 boxes of fudge covered Oreos.
Oh, I wish.
So after before I was allowed to play on before I was old enough to play on the softball team, I kept the book. My dad and these guys played, and they'd always have like the game wherever they'd be drinking beers after the game, and I would always be like, please let it be Jeff's house. Please let it be Jeff's house. And it would be Jeff's house, and we'd all go over there. All the guys would pound beers on the deck outside. And in his garage, it was like I said, it was like Scrooge McDuck, of Nabisco products. And I was like, what's going on? And then you could just anything you wanted. It was crazy.
Did he work for like U.S. Foods? Was he like a?
No, he was like and then he moved away. He was here for like 2 years, and then he was gone out of our lives forever. Never saw him again. They were whisked away. He's
the cookie man.
Yeah,
damn man.
And crackers and anything Nabisco did. It was
crazy ass cracker.
Crazy ass cracker. Cracker. All right, so we got that. Was there any? The one other thing we didn't have tonight, and we just hit our end of show, landing zone, was motto for the 2025 season. Now I did throw it out there, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're not going to have a chance to put their motto out there. I think this is something we need to be working on. On a weekly basis, maybe even a bi-weekly basis. I don't know. It depends how certain people are feeling. By the way, also of note, and I think that it bears mentioning that these are some creamy biceps. Put those creamy biceps out there, Derek. You got do I
have the Ken look on?
Yeah, you got the Ken look going. You have yours are 7-foot creamy biceps. I gotta also stay out of reach.
There's a golf tone there, but put your arm next to Ken's. Go arm to arm. Yeah, Ken.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
First of all,
you guys have some creamy ass biceps.
That's the creamiest biceps in town.
Shit. Mine are pretty creamy
no, yours
too.
are all freckly though.
I have freckles.
Good. Yeah.
You're not eating enough Nabisco.
You need more Nabisco in your life.
God dang right.
I cover my whole body in it.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna go home and take them double stuff white on whites.
Okay, now you're talking.
Dipped in white chocolate. So I can get them creamy hammy.
What was the drink that was on the board? The
drink that was on the board.
Wasn't it a shake? Someone
recommended.
recommended.
The Tillamook.
He recommended the
malted moose shake.
Malted moose shake.
That's the malted moose shake.
That
sits right here.
That is malted.
Sits right here.
Gosh, dang.
Dude, is that
guys? This weekend's Memorial Day weekend. Where you can take your creamy ass bodies.
I don't know.
We're not going to the pool,
dude.
Merriweather concert, baby.
I've checked. Who?
Sturgill Simpson.
All right, so I never heard of him.
Yeah,
damn it.
He's good. He's
I scour for live music.
Yeah.
I think he's probably just past the point of. I mean, he was really fun to see like over the last 5 or 6 years. I think he does a great show.
Yeah.
You ain't seen Muffin yet. Obviously, that's a great one.
You ain't seen Muffin yet.
No. So we're gonna work on the team motto.
I agree with Robert Cohen.
What do you say?
That's gonna be hard to beat.
And that's gonna be super
God
hard
damn.
to beat. Robert Cohen, you have been on fire tonight. Damn it,
Greg killed it. Robert served it. This is. Thank you guys. You guys have been on fire. Thank you too, Derek. Jesus.
Those guys are on fire.
They're on fire.
Yeah.
Then can I just start one more 1 minute topic?
Yeah. What do you got?
You're gonna love it. You're gonna hate it.
Am I allowed to talk about it? I feel like
I'm dropping it on you specifically.
You're like, you can't talk about stuff. All right.
No, because I know that I brought up something that was totally derailing the conversation.
Never.
Your boy George Wendt died today.
Orm. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I loved him so much. He was the coolest character. I didn't realize how much I loved him until like 10 years ago.
Yep.
And I was like, every time he's on, I find myself watching. Like I stop. I don't change the remote. If he's talking or if he's at the bar, I watch till the commercial comes. And for someone like me, that's impossible.
Yep.
He was the coolest guy. Yeah, what a character actor, dude. He made the whole world feel like, being a regular was cool. I was like, I can't wait to get to the bar. This guy's the funnest.
Norm and Cliff. I mean, when you think of a bar scene, like the whole show is built around a bar scene,
Right.
And they were the perfect, anagrams or whatever you want to say, of bar scene characters. So like and Robert Cohen was talking about, I was trying to think of other George Wendt stuff because obviously he's beloved as Norm, but he popped up in so many things. He guested on so many
Fletch.
sitcom.
Little Rascals.
Little Rascals, the super fans in
Airplane too.
SNL.
That's all I got. That's all I
That
got.
was a good run.
But how about Gung Ho with Michael Keaton? You
I
guys
saw that movie.
George Wendt was great in that movie. He was great in that movie.
Yeah, I got Fletch in there.
So I think definitely hoist one for my main man Norm. I also think that cheers you there.
Well, how about him walking into the gates of heaven?
Yeah.
Norm.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
so good.
That's just awesome. And his nephew is effing Jason Sudeikis.
Really?
That's not fair.
How about
That's
that?
not fair.
I knew you would love that one.
Yeah, I love Jason Sudeikis.
I know. That's his effing nephew. It's his sister's kid. They're super tight. He was bragging about him in one of his final interviews.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, man.
I'm trying to think. Forget about Ted Lasso. Forget about We're the Millers. Best Jason Sudeikis character, anybody. And I love him in so many things, but I mean, first of all, We're the Millers was just so good. I thought so he used to do this bit on SNL with Will Forte, where they were announcers. They were commentators for a sport of whatever the sport was,
Right.
and they would call it. It would be like women's darts or like children's bowling, or the sport was always ridiculous, but it was always the two of them sitting in there, and they would do advertisements for sponsors, and the sponsors would just be like these crazy things, and they would sit there, they'd be talking, and Will Forte, he was kind of off color, and Jason Sudeikis had to bring him back, but then they would have to do a read for some crazy sponsor, and it was always so inappropriate and poorly matched for whatever they were doing. To me, I thought that was. I mean, that was my best Jason Sudeikis. But we're talking about Norm.
No. That was it. I just thought all that was neat as hell. The Norm had to be discussed on this show tonight, and that fact, I love those little knickknacks.
I've always thought about it too. I've worked at a bar. We've all worked at a bar at some point of our lives, and I've been a bar, attender, and I've also been a regular at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I always there's no way you grab a stool when I did the hard time. I did a tour duty at Hard Times in Bethesda for like 2 or 3 years, and there's no way you grab a stool on a regular basis in any bar and you don't think about Norm. At some point in your walk home or your walk back, randomly at some point it just happens. You're like,
every bar has one.
Yeah, and I wasn't Norm. I was not saying I was Norm, but I'm saying there was a whole thing. We weren't Cheers, but you get part. It's a living, breathing. Frasier's there, and the
Bob Waters is there.
Bob Waters is there.
It's
Bob
amazing.
Waters is definitely there.
Wonderful.
So
My little Normie.
Norm had so many bartenders. That's the other thing I think about when I think about Norm.
True.
Because that's tough. Like if you're a regular someplace, especially if
Coach was got to be his 1 seed.
Coach is definitely a 1 seed. I mean, Sam doesn't count because Sam's
Sam.
Yeah, but between Coach, I mean, definitely, obviously.
I don't remember his name, but what's his name? I don't remember
You're
his
talking about Woody?
character name. Yeah.
Woody.
It was Woody, right?
Was it? Wasn't it Woody?
Yeah.
I think it was Woody.
Yeah, it was Woody.
All right. That's why
So
I was
Woody,
totally blank.
but I'm blanking on what's her face. It's Kirstie Alley's name.
Oh God, what was
You
her
had Diane
name?
and Rebecca.
Yes,
Rebecca
And Carla.
Carla bartender
Rhea
for sure.
Perlman.
I loved Carla.
She was the best.
Mhm.
Everyone was afraid to do something wrong to anyone if she was near. I always love people like that.
Carla.
She served justice from her tiny frame.
If you own and operate a successful bar, it's because you had someone like Carla who worked for you for multiple years.
8 shifts, 8 hours, was in every freaking scene. She was always wiping up something.
Yeah. You're never ever going to own and operate a successful bar if you don't have at least one Carla. You better come with more. But like so favorite bar, your favorite, like let's take Norm out of the equation for a second. We'll say because I think we'll say he's our favorite. Who's your favorite bar character at Cheers? Not no employees, no employees.
Oh Jesus! Don't make me say Frasier. He was entertaining as shit. By
He
the way,
was so
The
entertaining.
problem was it's Frasier. The show was so good.
Yeah.
It biases me in like hindsight.
No
Like,
Cliff fans, no Cliff Clavin guys at all.
I mean, Cliff was a necessary guy.
Yeah, you have to have Cliff, the postman.
But like, if it's my shift and it's me and Cliff and we're the last two, I'm like, God, why isn't Norm here?
Yeah,
just saying, or Carla,
I'm trying to think. So you had Cliff
or Bob Waters. I don't give
or
a
Bob
damn
Waters.
at that point. Just somebody else.
So, there's a history of great mailmen characters in sitcoms in this country.
Yeah,
Newman,
It goes deep.
Newman and Cliff Clavin aren't the only ones because there's actually some main characters. Dude, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. It's true.
I'm scaring my mind, but with the confirmation you got made me laugh.
Yeah,
I didn't know this was a thing.
I'm good.
I had no idea this was a thing.
So wait, was Urkel's dad a
He was a
mailman?
cop.
Oh, he was a cop.
Clarence Vale Johnson.
There's a cartoon mailman.
What's the cartoon mailman?
I'm just saying there has to be a cartoon mailman.
100%.
Simpsons mailman? Is there a mailman?
Is there a mailman in the longest running show on TV?
Has to be.
There has to be a mailman.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
I just went with that right off the jump.
Sure.
I was trying to, I don't know. There's got to be a mass murder mailman guy.
You have Herbert from Family Guy. I assume he was always assumed he was a
Was
mailman.
Norbit a mailman?
Possibly. I really came with two.
Who
I
are
like
all
came
these
with-
mail- who are all these mailmen?
I had Newman and I had Cliff. That's all I came. I was like,
When Derek was like, yup, I was like, damn.
Did you bring this up?
Ton of
Wait,
mailmen.
did you bring up Norbit
did.
because I was talking about Norbit?
No,
Wow.
I didn't hear you say Norbit.
I've been talking about Norbit, so that's funny you said that.
I did not.
we finally are
gigantic Eddie Murphy fan. Can't help it.
I think your period is just synced. The
Mhm.
two of you.
Is that what Norbit means in
That's
French?
what Norbit means in French.
Jesus.
Okay, listen,
You learn
everybody,
all this
take it
stuff.
easy. Enough health education tonight. This has been a long Tuesday. We're so happy that you guys hung out with us for an hour on a Tuesday night in May. And the weather's going to be just absolutely gorgeous. Hope everyone gets a chance to enjoy it. Keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be some activity from the Commanders. They have money to spend. They have a roster that could still use some improvement, and there's still players out there that can do it. Therefore, we know the job is not done, and we'll be on the scene every Tuesday night on a weekly and potentially also a bi-weekly basis, and depending on I don't know how you're identifying in this particular time.
Thank you. I love coming on. Thank you. I can't wait to have T back on. It's going to be the best.
It's going to be the
That's all I
best.
gotta say.
So for next week, we're gonna keep pushing on motto stuff. I think I want to get everyone's best foot forward on that because I think because we can make a graphic up about it. It can be fun. Obviously, everyone can use it however they want. We no copyright infringements in our world. Kevin, Ricca.
No, that was awesome. You guys are awesome. By the way, shout out Greg and Robert. You guys made it tonight. Thank you very much. You guys are fun as hell. Derek, please keep being by Derek. I love it. It's a great version of you.
Bye, Derek.
yes.
Bye, Derek. Yep. I like that. So it might stick.
Well, I would. No one would love that more than. Wait, what's wrong? NES? He's saying no. We'll see what maybe he just found out about Norm. I don't know. Someone's in distress. I wanted.
Yeah.
But we'll find that out. We will be back in 7 days to talk about all the cool things going on, not just in Commanders world, but listen, we're going to cover all the topics. I think we proved that tonight. We're going to bounce around however the
That was fun, though.
flubber bounces. That's how the show's going to bounce for a while here. Thank God.
The flubber bounces your first draft pick for next year's motto.
However the flubber bounces.
Throw it out there.
Was never.
See if it sticks.
I was thinking flubber because someone made a Simpsons reference, and then that's
How about a son of flubber reference?
Is that a son of flubber?
I don't know. I have no idea what we're talking about. Like T said, we're 2 minutes too late.
Yeah,
should have shut this shit down.
It's true.
Oh, Cleveland.
Oh, Family
I
Guy.
said there was a cartoon mailman. I knew it. I felt it in my bones.
Cleveland was. Oh,
It was in my loins, and no one could extract it.
dang it!
That sounded
It's
terrible.
100% right. I can't. And that's a family. And I'm trying to think.
Peter.
In South Park, there's no mailman that I can think of off the top of my head there either.
F&A Cleveland. How, guys, I'm a little disappointed. in you.
What? Okay, so
I said clearly, and you know I don't know
there's
shit
an animated
about shit. But I was like, there's definitely an animated, and that was the only one I could possibly think of. Then it was nothing.
Yeah.
Then you guys had fooled me into thinking there's so many funny mailmans.
Those are so many. The rich history, in fact,
Yeah.
we've claimed. Two in particular.
Shout out to my mailman, Bob.
I just Googled it. Simpsons had frozen mailman.
Frozen mailman. Okay.
He was discovered frozen in an ice cap on Mount Springfield, having been missing for 40 years. So they were clearly like, we're not doing a mailman.
Right.
To the point where we're freezing him to death.
Derek and
Okay.
Ken say there's a gluttony of mailman
I
in
got
the
some,
entertainment industry. We're freeze this guy.
I got a couple here for you. All right. So you got Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace. He was a retired mail carrier.
Hold on. Is Cowboy Curtis from the Pee Wee Herman show a effing mailman? You're damn right he was.
He was.
Greg Martin.
Wow.
Cowboy Curtis.
Greg Martin.
By the way,
not me.
best-
I echoed it.
Best mailman. Best mailman.
Oh,
Larry
yeah.
Fishburne? Larry effing Fishburne?
Hell yeah.
That
Wow.
was Lawrence Fishburne.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's so good.
That-
Manic Mailman was in Itchy and Scratchy. Let's see. Petticoat Junction. I definitely watched that.
Who's the mailman from Leave It to Beaver?
Ooh, there's definitely one. Mr.
I know.
Mr. McFeely from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Obviously Newman.
Hold up. Not a great name for a mailman in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Mr. McFeely.
Mr. McFeely?
Maybe don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No packages delivered.
No. All right, I got you. The bathtub. Now I understand what you're saying. NES. All right, we'll see you guys in 7 days. Thank you
Thanks,
guys so much
guys.
for hanging out.
Fun night, man.
Thank God it's Tuesday. We are still live.
Shout out NES, too. Thank you,
Yo,
brother.
play us out, won't you? Let's see. Oop. By the way, lots of hits on that album. Here we go. We'll get a couple graphics up for Team Mom finalists before next week. We are still live.
Cowboy effing Curtis was Larry Fishburne is amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
His
that's
scope of acting, his resume.
unbelievable. What a gig.
I just saw the commercials last night.
What a vicious Jerry curl, too.
Oh, yes.
Do you guys know who directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Was it Paul Rubens? He was a genius.
No, it was another genius.
Cheech Chong. Neither one? They gave him
Steven-
his first gig.
Steven Spielberg.
Tim Burton.
Oh,
Well, that's weird.
Right?
That's weird.
That's where weird starts.
That's weird.
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
all right. So Tim Burton directed Pee-wee's Big
It makes
Top.
sense.
Big Adventure.
Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main one.
I just saw the commercials
That's
for it
why
last
Large
night.
Marge looked like Large Marge. That was straight up
That's what
Tim
I'm
Burton.
saying.
Is
That's
Paul-
the
is
whole
Paul
reason.
Rubens
That's my
alive?
favorite scene.
Yeah.
He's dead, right?
He's dead.
When did he? How long ago did he die?
I think he masturbated himself.
He masturbated himself. But just so you know,
And then he died. Sorry.
there's a show coming out. We're still live, and I wanted to make if anyone's listening, there's a show coming out about Pee-wee. It's called Pee-wee as himself, and it's a first person. He gets a tell. He's telling on. He's like, I get to give like at the last minute tell my side of the story.
VR.
It looks unbelievable. You talk about Paul Rubens being a genius. It's basically him telling his story, and it coming out deliberately after he dies.
I listened to Cheech and Chong on a thing talk about him as a genius for about 40 minutes the other day. He was in the first ever, and is still alive, whatever group in L.A. called, not the Expendables, not the it was a, what's it called when you do,
The mariachi
no.
dance.
3 different guys, and we're up
The
here.
Three
and there's one
Amigos?
topic, and you're a comic troupe, and you do
improv. Yeah, yeah.
And it's the LA Improv, the first one in LA, and it still exists. And they were called something. Cheech and Chong hired all these guys because they could do improv, and we didn't have a big budget, and we put them in all our movies because they would do takes in 1 and 2 times.
Yep.
And he said Paul Rubens was the best, the coolest, the smartest. He had 100 other characters. He always had this one though. Awesome story.
Yeah. Well, so watch that show.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Was he Derek Verreel in Blow?
I don't know, but I know he was in Mystery Men with Ben Stiller and Janine Garofalo
I gotta
and
know this.
William H. Macy. Did you ever see Mystery Men?
He was in a couple things. No, I did not.
Mystery Men is one of those movies that was not snubbed at the Academy Awards ceremony.
It was him in Blow.
He was in Blow.
Well, Mecca
Paul
like
was
a high,
genius.
Mecca hiney
Mecca
ho.
hiney ho. Yeah, dude, watch. Mystery Men is a funny movie.
Ding,
It's
ding, ding,
really
ding,
good.
ding, ding.
And
What
Paul
was it?
Rubens is awesome in it.
Terry the pterodactyl, great character.
Yeah.
Jamba.
Our
Was it
secret word of the
Jamba?
day?
Yeah. And Ken said muff. Muff! Muff, 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 muff.
If I could sing that song right now, I would.
What?
Pee Wee's Playhouse. Come inside.
It's Pee Wee's
Playhouse.
Playhouse.
See you next week.